Welcome back to more Let's Play Plants vs. Zombies. Last time, we finished those pesky nighttime pool levels with one of the most interesting and worst to watch gimmicks of not being able to see anything on the screen. So, glad that's out of the way, and I'm glad we have the cabbage pulled here. But, again, why would we need this?
Whoa, they even found a way onto your roof. Those are some persistent zombies, dude. You'll need to use cabbage pulls here due to your roof's angle. Remember that, you're good to go.
So yes, roof levels, the final world of the game, and any plant you have that shoots straight forward isn't usable, pretty much. This is going to be a challenge. Now, because it is daytime, we can use our standard sunflower. And I would honestly, of course, bring the cabbage pole. This is going to be your new pea shooter equivalent. And let's bring pumpkins, tall nuts, squash, I guess. I like walnuts. And to be honest, I find chompers and cherry bombs actually pretty good. Though to be fair, I'd probably just bring a jalapeno instead of the cherry bomb. Should be good. Let's rock. Here is the other gimmick of roof levels. You need these potted plants in order to actually plant anything. It's rough. Because of this, our old strategy of using puff shrooms to deal with things doesn't really work anymore. So you're going to have to adapt pretty darn quick. So let's get our first cabbage bolt here. And if you notice, they're a little slower than pea shooters, but they make up for it in the damage they deal being slightly higher. They're pretty reliable, and to be honest, I like most of the pult type plants. They're pretty good. They're also, too, because I've brought it up specifically, how you get the Don't Pee in the Pool achievement during a daytime level. You gotta wait for this point in the game to get these guys. And although you might be thinking, well, how do I replay that? Well, you'll have to wait for when you go through the campaign again on a New Game Plus run. But you'll keep all your plants and upgrades, so that's nice. Still, they do make you wait a very long time for some of the best stuff in the game. Which, hey, fair enough. It's just, if you wanted to do it in one playthrough, it's just not going to happen. So, I hate to break it to you. Now, as we can see, our plant space is limited. You can actually kind of get screwed on these first few levels if all your pots in a certain row get eaten. The other thing, too, and you may have noticed this, there's no lawnmowers on the roof, because there aren't exactly roof mowers. So you're at the, Well, that's rude. So as you can see, not only are you at the mercy of the zombies here, which, to be fair, you kind of have been the whole time, they also have new specialized zombies that can pick up one of your plants at any point. There's really nothing you can do about it. It's rough. These roof levels can be pretty darn tough, so you gotta be careful. They're not, admittedly, that much harder, but still, it's your first time playing the game, you might struggle with these. I think they're a fun challenge, but then again, I've played the game several times, so I would feel that, wouldn't I? Still, with our cabbage bolts, we should make our way through just fine. Usually, the first stage of a new world is just here to show you the gimmick, ease you in. And that's still true here, which I'm thankful for. which, as you can see, not only do they steal your plants, they can also bring in new zombies, similar to how they would pop up in the pool. It's brutal. That's why from here on out, the jack-o'-lantern, or well, the pumpkin, is probably a mainstay. Tall nut is also good, but trust me, you're gonna want this. And of course, this one. You can probably already guess. This is the flower pot. It lets you plant on the roof. Costs 25 sun. Think of it as the same way you thought of a lily pad, though it's required for every space now. Buckle up.
Hey, neighbor, got some new items for sale.
And he sure does. Specifically, these roof cleaners add an extra line of defense for those difficult roof levels. These are required to have lawnmowers. It's rough. It's real rough. He also sells these new spikeweed upgrades. Plant these on your spikeweeds to turn them into spike rocks. Spike rocks do twice the damage and are extremely durable. He also has this one too. Plant these on your magnet shrooms to turn them into gold magnets. Gold magnets collect coins and diamonds for you. Again, all pretty nice stuff. Nothing we really want or can afford. Again, pool levels are done, so cattails are pointless currently. So, onward we march. We want that 9th slot. Here we can see some of the old tried and true zombies, which means we'll want our tried and true methods. This is pretty much how you're going to be starting every roof level. Otherwise, I recommend pumpkins, squash. Again, I really like chompers and tall nuts. Otherwise, the starfruit can't shoot over the angle of the roof, nor can split peas, snow peas, even the cactus cannot shoot over it. You'd think with them stretching they could reach, but no. So really, jalapeno? Sure, looks good to me. And as you can see, the amount of flower pots was reduced. Get ready for that. They're really going to test you and make sure you know how to manage your sun from here on out. It gets brutal. Still, if you've been employing a similar strategy to me, getting as much sun as you can as quickly as you can, you should be just fine. Now, ideally, I try to get at least 2 sunflowers out for every cabbage pult I put down. I find that's a pretty good ratio. So usually, I like to try to get all of our first row damaging cabbages, and then this is where I start really hammering on that 3 sunflower row. But you're going to have to be careful with needing to use flower pots to accomplish this. If you get lucky and a zombie spawns on the same lane, you can get pretty darn greedy and really start pumping out some sunflowers. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. It happens more often than you'd think, but don't rely on it. Usually if you stick to the hard rule of doing 2 in 1, you should be fine. This cone head is probably going to be an issue. So, he's just making up for us getting away with planting more sunflowers than we should have, which is fine. As you can see, 2 cabbages can deal with a cone head fairly quickly. They are rather efficient little things. And there we go. Now that we have all of our basic sunflowers, it's time to start accounting for other rows. Now the nice thing is your flower pots. They can stop things dead in their tracks like the pole vaulters. Same way as a puff shroom. It does cost a little more, yes, because you will be spending the sun to get that flower pot, But that's where I like to have the chompers. They can be extremely useful. If you just need a quick kill, it's worth it. Now, the other thing you gotta watch out for is that cooldown. That can really screw you over. This is the other reason why I like having pumpkins, too, is they give you the chance to defend things if you need it. Redundancy is kind of an underrated thing in this game. You might think to yourself, well, why would I have so many of the same plant that can do the same thing? Well, a different plant that can do the same thing. You get the idea. Redundancy gets around cooldowns, which is really the big benefit. As you can see, our sun production is alive as well. We should be just fine. Now, ideally, I want to start getting our third row of cabbage pults. Though, it might be more wise for me to put tall nuts here, because that would give us time to adjust. Still, we'll see what happens. If we want, we can even start doing a cheeky strategy like this. Using our defensive options with the things we've already planted and put forward. This is also where, too, even if it doesn't look pretty, if it's efficient and works, it's probably worth it, as much as even I hate to admit it. So, you know. Another one of my favorite strategies is this. The tall nut with a chomper behind it. It's super effective, especially on these roof levels. You're going to be getting your mileage out of those chompers, trust me. So, I like having them. Worst case, if you need some defense that's immediate, you can use a pumpkin. I also enjoy doing. And really, I find the chompers are just an extra costly squash in these levels. It's that good. As you can see, we have a bully here coming to steal our sunflower, which is the other reason I really emphasize getting the 3 rows. Losing one isn't as bad when you have a ton. When you only have, say, 5 sunflowers, you're really gonna struggle. So keep it in mind. Let's do this little strategy too. A chomper with a pumpkin. Also very useful. There are plenty of strategies for this game that I find are really good. But this also gives our bolts here a good way of having time to deal damage while we're clicking outside of the game and pausing it, apparently. Oh no. What I mean to say is that it buys us time. Time you might really need. Not for gathering sun or, dealing with a weird zombie, but namely just for figuring out what the heck you're doing here in the middle with placing your plants and figuring out your game plan. Time equity is a huge thing in this game, and let me tell you, it's important to make sure you have a plan, though you might not always. Especially, too, when one of these guys comes down, it's really nice to have time to deal with it. We actually got really lucky and he placed stuff over here. Because they can just place zombies directly on your plants. So, keep it in mind. See, this chomper's probably gonna die. If I was quick enough, I could have gotten another tall nut where he was. That's okay. Just like that. Once this guy's done eating, we should be finished with 5-2. Pretty easy, huh? Don't worry, it'll get harder. But for now, we have the kernel pult. Flings corn kernels and butter at zombies. This is your equivalent to the snow pea, and I'm very, very mixed on it. It can be phenomenal, especially for only 100 sun, but it has drawbacks. It says it flings kernels and butter, and it will, eventually. It's random when it does it. That randomness can seriously screw you over. I'm still going to generally bring it, because it is a good option, but it's risky, because they also do less damage than the cabbage pult. So while I do like them, just understand it might screw you over. Now these guys, ladder zombies, kinda mentioned them a little earlier with the magnet shrooms. They place a ladder and can climb over things like tall nuts, pumpkins, and walnuts. So I'm actually going to bring the walnut. And already, we're down to 3 rows. This is where you're probably going to have to settle for 2, and then place the cabbage. It's rough. But we'll see what we can do to get by. Now, if you want, you could pull the old strategy of just rushing sunflowers, which is probably the right call. Just use a squash to get rid of the zombie. After all, you have to wait until he's way over here to get him anyways, so you'll probably have time to amass sunflowers. So let's give it a shot, shall we? Place the squash there, just that way we can get his cooldown going. There's sunflower down. And my guess is at this point, let's place down our cabbage pult. Because again, those corn ones are risky. I like them, but, well, I have too much on the table to be worth risking it right now. Let's place a pot there, and let's show off the corn pult. So as you'll see, he can fling the kernel, which doesn't do a whole lot. But occasionally he'll fling the butter, which completely stops a zombie in its tracks, and I believe does more damage. It can be really good, and it's the only way you're going to be able to slow zombies on these here roof levels. So you kind of got to take what you can get. That's what makes it rough, is that you're going to have to rely on some luck. But generally speaking, they're not unusable. You just got to get lucky with them, and it's not all that tough. Usually I find about 1 in 4 or 5 shots they fling the corn. I don't know the exact statistic on how often it is. It might be more than that. I just get unlucky. But you get the idea. They're useful, just, you know, maybe using a little more sparingly than you would the cabbage bolt. Let's see, I think I want corn here. Let's start keeping our rows nice and pushed up here, our columns. In worst case, if we need to, we can give him a jack-o'-lantern, but it looks like the corn dealt with him. And that's the other thing, too. If you're lucky, the corn can immediately fire the butter and immediately get some worth out of himself. But other times, you can be like this corn here and not fire a butter for several flings and really get yourself into a pickle. But that's why we have the pumpkin and other such things to help them out. So far, so good. And as you can see, the butter is pretty good. Like, when it actually hits, it's good. It's one of those things that I feel is like, it's good when it's good, but when it's bad, it's kind of just eh. Yeah, see, there's the ladder zombie. Now, if you want, you can simply just do that and just get rid of the thing he places the ladder on. It's fairly easy. You can then, too, if you really want to mess with them, place a squash behind them. That's fun. But as you can see, they're fairly quick, and they assist other zombies. So, I'm not a big fan of seeing them, if I can help it. Let's see. We have corn in every row, so that's me clicking outside the game. Very good job, me. Put a walnut there, put a walnut there. Because obviously, if you can defend something, why not? So yeah, this is an interesting scenario, where it's actually going to be more worth our time to let him try to eat this than it is to bother... No, that's what I was worried about. I was hoping they would kill him and get another butter, but they didn't. So basically, when that happens, when a ladder gets put on one of your nuts like that, it's completely useless. You can't use it for anything else. That's why I do really like having walnuts, is because for 50 sun, you can deal with it. It's also where you kinda really wish you had magnet shrooms. But hey, we don't. So, not much you can do. Ooh, goodness. Got a little further than I would have liked. Honestly, start placing some more defenses here. Put a cabbage in that pumpkin, why not? And I can see, too, the bottom row doesn't actually have that many plants in it. Honestly, I might get rid of this third row of sunflowers. We have a lot of sun, so we should be able to afford it. Not too worried about it. Figure we'll try to let them produce their last bits of sun before saying farewell. Go do that. That way we have our second tall nut in effect. It's generally always a good idea to get rid of the laddered plant immediately, just so that way other zombies can't abuse it. Because they will. You know what? Have a squash. Goodbye. And may as well put something offensive in that open slot. And that should be all she wrote. For this stage, anyways. And my. What's this? Well, if my eyes don't deceive me, this is the coffee bean. You can plant it on a mushroom to wake it up. Remember how I said, man, I wished we had the magnet shrooms to get rid of those ladders? This is how we get them. Still, 75 sun is a steep cost, so you best make sure it's worth it. It usually is, especially on a level like this, where you have plenty of metal using zombies. So grab our sunflower, pot, cabbage pult, kernel pult, and then we'll want magnet shroom and coffee bean. But now we have a new issue. Defenses. I always like the pumpkin on these stages. This is pretty much a must-have if you ask me. Otherwise, I almost think I want to go with squash. It's risky. It's bold. But I like it. So let's give it a shot. Again, get our sunflower down as quick as we can. Because, man, we need that sun. This is honestly a point in the game where getting those double sunflowers might be worth it. Though, a fair warning if you do decide to get them. The double sunflowers take up an additional slot up here. So if you have limited slots, well, it can be a problem. And I'm going to get real greedy on this one. Because we need sun like you would not believe. Because effectively, for that magnet shroom, it's 175 to use it. Which is a lot. So you gotta keep it in mind. I think what I want to do this, place that there. Get the sun, cabbage bolt. go. Then we'll place a pot wherever the next zombie is coming. Right there, cabbage bolt. And again, I generally like the guaranteed damage of the cabbage bolt as opposed to the chance of the kernel. But whatever strategy you prefer, it'll probably see you through. In the event we get a cone head like this, I honestly might just squash him and keep building sun. Which I think is exactly what I'll do. Sounds like a fairly good plan to me. So then I can focus on getting all of our stuff nice and set up. Just like so. Ba-boom. Honestly, wait on that. There we go. Put the corn down just so that way he can hopefully slow him. Perfect. Got real lucky on that. Still not really going to be enough, but I hope. Worst case, ideally grab a sun, put a pumpkin on him. Good. And looks like our next squash candidate is walking on up. And now I think what I want to do is obviously put more flower pots down, because we're going to need them. But I think I want corn on each row, if I can help it. Cabbage down there. Corn there, alright. We have our sunflowers, which is good. And then I want to get magnet shrooms up too. So I'm going to put an extra flower pot here. So that way I can put the magnet shroom down. So that way I can start his recharge along with the coffee bean. Luckily, you only need one coffee bean per mushroom. After that, they will stay awake. And so that should keep most of the metal-using enemies out of reach, hopefully. Worst case, I will use the pumpkin to defend them. But we will see what happens. Because it is a gamble on all of these rooftop levels, especially when you're relying on the corn's butter to actually slow zombies. So it looks like we're absolutely going to need some of this. And I want some squash here. As you can see, without the extra pumpkin there, is vulnerable, so that's why I like having squash. It is darn reliable. Frankly, let's put a cabbage bolt in front of him. Just so that way, if there's another one like so, try to defend it. Seems like it's a winning strategy thus far. They also have equal damage on each of the rows now, even though they look funky. That coin, thank you. Pogo Zombie. Magnet Shroom deals with it just fine. Might lose that cabbage, though. Yeah, definitely. Him. There we go. Place that down, should be fine. And see, with the magnet shroom, placing down pumpkins and tall nuts, as well as walnuts, becomes a lot better because you don't have to worry about those pesky ladder zombies getting rid of your investment, so long as these guys can keep up. Their weakness is that they have to wait for that metal item to be disposed of, and that takes time, unfortunately. So still, we have a very solid defense pattern here, and should be good to go. Our sun production is nice and high, so I'm not too worried about it. again, here's where things might get dicey, is if our magnet shrooms get all used up. I would like to get pumpkins on the top, bottom, and middle rows there, if I can help it. Which, so far, so good. Okay. I think we're doing pretty fine. So I got one more big wave, but that should be okay. Grabbing all of our delectable sun. I think at this point the pumpkins will see us through to the end. Now I will say, while the magnet shrooms seem like they'd be really great for pretty much every single level, I would really only use them based on how many metal enemies you happen to see. If there's a ton, go for it. But if there's only like one or two and you should be able to deal with them, especially like a bucket head or something, you're probably fine. Keyword, probably. So use your discretion, because they are good, but the 175 sun it takes to actually use them is a little steep. So make sure it's worth it. But as you can see, we've gotten a lot of mileage out of 2 of them. So it can absolutely be worth it. This probably being one of the best examples of that. But also too, don't be a fool. Make sure you actually grab your coffee bean before you just bring your mushroom and forget it. I've done that before, and man, does that not make the level fun. Still, at this point, I think we are home free to the goal. As you can see, the roof isn't that bad. It just needs a lot more risk for a lot of reward, to be fair. Because again, we're kind of relying on our RNG kernel bolts, as well as hoping we get lucky with zombie placements, making sure our sun shrooms are down, or not sun shroom, our magnet shrooms. I was looking at the sunflowers and thinking of the mushroom. Goodness. I do that a lot, huh? Still, I feel it's one of the most human things you can do. Now here's going to be the problem. We're going to have a footballer, but that's where our squash comes in, see? Because the 2 magnet shrooms could deal with 2 of the 3 threats, but that means the third one is something we gotta deal with ourselves. Hence, the squash. Hey, it's tried, it's true. I love it. Otherwise, once these guys are all done chopping away... In fact, put the plant pot right there just to slow them down for a smidge. And if I'm quick, give them a little squash. And get a watering can. Huh. You found a watering can. You can, or now, you can play Zen Garden mode. Oh, man.
Hey, check it out. You found the watering can. In honor of this occasion, I present you your very own Zen garden. Hey, I'll even start you off with a couple of sprouts. Grow them to full size, and they'll reward you nicely. Have fun.
The Zen Garden is pretty much well, what it sounds like. Take your time, water your plants, earn money. Keep watering your plants when they get thirsty. Generally speaking, most plants want to be watered about 3 times, then they'll need more tending. The Zen Garden is a great way to just passively earn money. Generally, you play this when you're getting a little bored of playing most normal Plants vs. Zombies. Like I said, your plants are going to need fertilizer to grow. You can visit the shop to buy some.
Hey, welcome to the Zen Garden section of my shop. I'll give you some fertilizer for stopping by. Take a look around and see if there's anything else you like.
So as you can see, you can't buy marigold sprouts yet, which, to be fair, they're expensive. You can buy a golden watering can to allow you to water 4 plants at once instead of 1. You can buy the glove to pick up plants and move them. The phonograph to play music and keep them happy, which will be needed later. You can buy bug spray to keep them happy, and fertilizer to let them grow. These are all things that are going to be useful for the Zen Garden, but frankly, we're not really going to focus too much on this for now, because, well, that's all you can do for now. So, let's continue.
Zen Garden is pretty nifty, huh? You can visit it any time from the main menu. But enough of that. It's time to defend your house. I have to warn you, you're going to hate this next level. Why? Because it's non-stop bungee zombie after bungee zombie. I hate those confounded bungees. I hate them. Hate them with a passion. And a vengeance. A whoop-a-dee-doo. Here come those idiots now.
So yeah. And, seeing as it's the 5th level, you get a scroller. This one isn't all that bad, but as you can see, the placements of zombies are pretty much random and accelerated because of where the bungees get placed. This is where I misclick. I was going to say this is also the level that convinced me how good the chompers are for the roof. They're fairly quick, they get rid of a whole zombie, and if you can keep them around, they can deal with stuff really well. So, I appreciate this level for sharing with me the knowledge that is Rooftop Chomper. It may not seem like the smartest idea, with how slow they are and undefended they are, especially when that happens. But that's where the pumpkin comes in. It's pretty good. This is also where, if I could have another pot, please. Thank you. You can do a dual chomper setup like this and get a lot of mileage out of one chomper, or even 2. I think it's pretty great. Unfortunately, these guys are just going to have to deal, but it should be fine. Otherwise, we'll do that just for now. Actually going to keep that pot. And I can see confounded buckethead. Do that. I know my bottom row here is a bit unprotected, but I think it'll, I was going to say be fine. Perhaps he'll be getting cherry bombed. Nah, we'll just use the chomper. Be fine. Yeah, this is one of my favorite strategies for the roof, is the pumpkins and chompers. It's really effective. And it probably shouldn't be, but I really do like it. So as you can see, they cover each other pretty darn well. Now the problem is when there are more than enough zombies than 2 chompers can handle. But that's fairly rare. So, I like it. Oh, really? Get out of here. Need that. No, I got my other chomper. Alright. Just blow them up. Nothing we can't handle. Oh, I would like another chomper. And see. Goodbye, all of our plants. It's annoying, but there's really nothing you can do. So, ooh. Chomper behind him. Get some money, which has yet again another purpose beyond just the normal shop, the Zen Garden. Everything in Plants vs. Zombies pretty much needs money in some way, shape, or form. Let me tell you, you're probably gonna get really sick of it. Just trust me, I know I do. Also, wow, this just calls for a cherry bomb. That's way too many zombies. Of course, the buckethead survived, why wouldn't it? But that should be fine. There you go, give him the old chomp. Yeah, as you can see, they're fairly effective, little guys. They do their job pretty well. Oh, man. That's a shame. This is also a shame. Get rid of that pumpkin there. Oh, that's fine. We can just cherry bomb those guys. There we go. Oh my gosh. Got a whole lot going on here. As you can see, this level gets intriguing. It's goofy, to be honest. Because you're pretty much never going to have a solid line of defense. But it is interesting, if nothing else. At least I think. Worst case 2, we have some cherry bombs available. Which should be on us. Put that there, do that. Man. I really wish I had a flower pot to just cherry bomb them. Well, one will be eaten, so that's good. At least soon. I thought he did the swallow animation. He did not. Oh, that one did. Perfect. Chompers. They're funny. Ooh, that's a problem. But, most of it kinda dealt with itself. So, yeah. Super interesting level. And, speaking of super interesting, this guy. Say hello to garlic. It diverts zombies into other lanes. It's okay. We'll see exactly how useful it is next time we play Plants vs. Zombies. As always, I'm Bread. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.